You want a future-proof tech job. You Google for hours and the three fastest growing software roles keep popping up everywhere. Data engineers, data analysts, and data scientists. You know what is one thing that's common across all these three? SQL. It is foundational even for data scientists. And for example, US Bureau of Labor Statistics said that it will grow by 35% from 2022 to 2032, making it the third fastest growing occupation in the US. Data engineers, their job growth rate doubled compared to last year. And you know what is the number one skill for data engineers as well? You guessed it, SQL. SQL also sits shoulder to shoulder with Python, with over 51% of responders all around the software industry saying that it is one of the most important programming languages. In short, no SQL, no seat at the data table. Hi everyone, I'm Josh and I'm a data and AI engineer at DoorDash, previously at Google. All the resources that I'll be mentioning in this video are free. Yes, you heard that right. So are you ready for the game plan? Let's dance. Number one, let's start with prerequisites, DBMS, which is called Database Management Systems. It is pretty much foundational to everything that you learn about SQL, so go through this first. This is a quick DBMS course to get up to speed. Don't spend a lot of time on this. Remember, it's just the prerequisites. The main thing, SQL, is yet to be started. They have some SQL modules here in this course, but they're not that good. So where do you start your SQL journey? SQL feels endless. DDL, DML, indexes, normalization, CTEs, and n number of more things. But 80% of any engineer's or analyst's job, they use only these 10 terms that you need to focus more on. These terms are select, from, where, join, group by, having, order by, subqueries, CTEs, and window functions. So in this step, we will learn the most important SQL things that will cover 80% of everything that you need to learn. Go to SQL Bolt and they have 18 browser-based challenges that you can go through. They fire syntax plus mini quizzes at you like a typing game. There's no need for install and it's totally free. What you can do is raise the clock, so do all 18 lessons in probably one weekend or two. After each puzzle, write a tweet length takeaway. For example, having filters post group rows the way that where filters your pre-group rows. And for people like me who learn better with music, maybe just keep a lo-fi playlist on while you are going through this. One thing, make sure that you understand that momentum here is more important than perfection. Now by this point, you know the fundamentals of DBMS and probably the most important SQL syntaxes. Now you need to complete that and put a cherry on top by following a guided path. Now watching random YouTube videos is probably like eating cotton candy. Sweet, but zero protein. But a structured track lets you climb skills in a more sustainable and sane way. That's why Commit to Mode's SQL tutorial, the entire course run inside a cloud notebook grade SQL editor. So you can practice exactly how analysts or data engineers actually work on the job. In fact, at DoorDash, we use Mode a lot for running our SQL queries. Start with basics, progress all the way to advanced. The best thing about this is they have tons of sample datasets loaded that you can use for practice or personal projects. For example, within advanced SQL, this is like a lesson on SQL date format. They talk about how dates are formatted year first and important rules for dates and time in SQL, and then it also ends with a practice problem. And then you can see that they are using Crunchbase data from their tutorials dataset, which is already loaded if you create your free version Mode account. And you can directly copy this SQL, run it on Mode instance, or maybe modify it if you want to learn more about it and then see the results. So every lesson ends with peek at the real results or a little bit of DIY. And remember, you will struggle in the beginning when you try to write all of these SQL syntaxes. But remember that study is comfy and struggle is scary, and struggle equals learning. Now, whether you're a student or analyst or an engineer, one of the things that is like very time consuming is building presentations. It's tedious and it's hard to stare at a blank PPT screen when you're starting out. That's where today's sponsor Gamma enters. So while you can create presentation, web page, document, etc., we'll focus right now on presentation. We can just describe here what we want, explain what a window function is in SQL and why it's powerful for analytics. Now when you enter this, it will come up with an outline which will say, okay, these are the 10 slides that you should add. You can change this around, but I think it looks good for me because it starts with understanding what is a window function, basic syntax, key component, also gives you an example and then explains why it is so powerful. So it looks good. Let me click on generate. You can see it has come up with its own slide deck, and you can see the basic syntax and everything. In the key components explained section, you can see it has partitioning, ordering, and framing, and how these things are defined. I can directly edit with AI, and I can make it something like make this more visual. So now you can see that it made it more visual by like dividing different types of window functions like ranking, aggregate, and value functions. If I want to edit more heavily, I can directly chat with AI, and I can say, for example, that show me a more complex problem in the same use case, and it will try to expand that use case. And you can click on share and directly export to any version that you use behind the scenes. There were some facts that kind of blew my mind. There are 50 million active users on Gamma, which makes it the most popular AI presentation building application out there. There are 700,000 decks built every day on it, which makes it around 8 decks per second. So ditch that blank PowerPoint or Google slide, go to gamma.app and start leveraging AI instead of running away from it. Now you know all the syntax knowledge, you know the advanced stuff in SQL, but you kind of melt in front of an interviewer when you are asked a complicated question with a strict time limit. That's where you need to do a lot of practice. You can check out Data Lemur's free SQL interview bank. There are hundreds of real FANG style questions. It's auto graded and it has completely in-browser ID that you can use. I would say have a 3-week sprint. So focus week 1 on easy questions, do 5 easy questions daily, and then week 2, 3 medium questions daily, and then after that, 3rd week, just do 2 hard questions daily. Keep an error log. So each time when you miss an answer, just keep a one-liner about one thing that you wish you would have known, and then move on to next question. By the time your actual interview comes, this error log will be pure gold. Okay, now step 4. This is probably the most important step because it's about building a project. Because employers hire storytellers, not tutorial watchers. But blank canvas syndrome is something that freezes most learners. So that's why Mode Analytics has a section in their SQL tutorial. That is the last section, Business Analytics Training Cases. So these would provide you raw tables, a messy business question, and then some guided hints as well. Pick one of 3. Why did a social network engagement creator design your own search functionality? See A/B results when you push new features to your social media network. So the process remains the same. Load the case in your Mode Analytics workspace. After that, just try to frame a hypothesis in plain English about how will you solve that problem in SQL. Once you're done, once your project is done, put it on a GitHub repository and then probably do a 60 or 90 second video walkthrough and then link it with your GitHub repository in which you're demoing that project. So that's it. If today's plan lit fire, drop your toughest SQL question that you have seen, or maybe drop any question that you want to ask to me in the comment section below. I look at most of the questions out there. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more hype-free career advice on data roles. That's it from my side. See you next time.